Kiii. This is the Inside Look.
What's happening, y'all? This is the Inside Look. My name's DoeTheUnknown. We got Kiii in the house, man, artist out of Sacramento. He's doing the LOOK Cypher here today. We gonna get to know Kiii, get to know some of his music and what he's doing, man. So first of all, I noticed right away when I listen to your shit, the lyrical content. I can always tell a lyricist, you know what I'm saying? This cast that makes swag music, this cast is out here to make bars.
Sure.
What influenced your musical style?
I would say like a plethora of artists. I've always been like, when I was much younger, inspired from a lot of songwriters, from, you know, Pink Floyd, down to hip hop. If we're looking at, you know, Jay-Z, you know, Blueprint, as well as Reasonable Doubt, you know, we have albums like that, or like Nas's I Am. That was like one of the albums that I gravitated towards the most, or even like Ice Cube, I'd say. You know, so I had like a large exposure. You know, my stepfather, he was digital underground engineer. So he worked with like Raphael Saadiq, Toni, as well as Tupac Shakur. So I got like a lot of early exposure. I was a studio baby, if you will. So it's always been a passion of mine, so let's push it. You know,
that's fine.
Yeah.
So in that, you said that were you around a lot of that? Did you get to go to the studio and hang out and see something like this? So so what's like an interesting story you got from that?
I would say that there are just many times where my stepfather, he would kind of just throw me in there and then kind of just improv, that kind of thing.
And you was rapping back then, like?
Yeah, I was rapping back then. I was rapping before I could speak.
Okay.
Like, before I could even like talk.
You was one of them da-da-da babies.
Yeah, I was like, oh, you know. So I had like a very, and I would say that would probably be the story, is when I started rapping, and I remember it like probably like 6 or 5, you know, at some point, and I was rapping and everybody was just reacting like,
oh shit.
Yeah, you know. So since then it's became a part of my identity, but then I've shaped it more into a part of my life, from like a healthy relationship with the idea in itself, because, you know, you always have to be able to transform your why, and that's kind of how I've taken that and turned it into my own thing.
I like
you know?
that. That's a dope thing. Make sure y'all check that out. Okay, what was the moment that you realized that music wasn't just a hobby, that this was something you were pursuing full time, just a lifestyle?
Yeah. So when I finished high school at Sac High, and then I got into a 4-year university. UCLA or Berkeley, and it was like a full ride at Berkeley. But because LA, you know, I gravitated towards the industry, and I wanted to have my own record label, you know, from some of the challenges that I had in high school. So I was always DIY, and when I hit the campus, like I hit the ground running. And you know, they had me performing all over the campus. Like I just got like so much widespread exposure to what that world could look like, that I was like, yeah, this is something that's like actually making sense for me, and I could turn into a career down the line. So I think since then, just with all the shows that I've done, from street performing to, you know, I dropped like a mixtape each year from finishing high school. And, you know, it's just
since finishing high school to now, you've dropped a mixtape each year. That's consistency.
Yeah, around that time, And now it's turned more into like a discography at this point. I've transformed certain things, but I would say it's like breathing to me. At this point, it's really hard to avoid music.
Okay, so let's get into the pre-exhibit drop was the rollout for the exhibit, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about your idea behind that rollout.
Yeah, so you know, I don't know if you noticed like the Ray-Von, Joey Badass, you know, the Boom Boom. It was like a royale of like all artists, you know, across the East Coast, West Coast. Around this time, I was also, you know, trying to address like the political field of things, but also kind of set the tone and landscape of my album, in which, you know, at this point, it'll be like announced that the title is Voilà. And so
we getting that exclusive right now?
100%.
That's exclusive, only LOOK Cypher got it. Yeah, come on.
So I appreciate this opportunity to even disclose this. But, you know, I wanted to challenge how music is being consumed, right? Music is put out and released, it costs like a penny to stream. And you look at other artists, they'll splatter a couple paint drops on the board and they sell millions, you know? And it's like, how we consume music now is just, it devalues the art. And so I'm almost challenging that. But when I saw what was happening, I jumped in. You know, I have a song out with like King Los.
You have a song,
Yeah.
You have a song with him.
Yeah, with King Los. And, you know, everybody was being competitive. So in the spirit and nature of competition, you know, I jumped in and said my piece. You know, but I think it kind of challenged me as an artist as well to kind of
dope.
just set the tone.
That's dope. I mean, somebody said to me once, and it's something that always stuck with me, is that us as artists and musicians, we're the only artists that expect to get paid from our art.
Yeah.
Right? When Van Gogh made a painting, he wasn't expecting to get paid from it. He was just making his art. And it became priceless because of what it became. You know what I'm saying? 100%. So I think with music that I think we need to understand that sometimes. But like we need to change the landscape to where now we get paid for it. So if you can release your music yourself and not go through these things and get everybody to come to your site and buy it directly from you, I mean, like if people talk about that's what what's his name, Tory Lanez was on. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden all that stuff that happened to Tory. So
ended up turning bad.
So let's say you could collab with one artist, but in order to collab with them, you have to battle them. And do you think you would win?
I would say if I really wanted to collab with an artist, it'd be Freddie Gibbs or like Clips right now for me.
Okay, but you got to battle them first.
I think it would be...
Are you winning, or is it a draw? Is it an L? What is it?
I think it would be like a showcasing of like what could happen if we get on a record together.
Well said.
I'd be like very intentional about how that sounds.
Right.
There's a lot more to explore in that space rather than like just going at them, you know. But I think just kind of showing my world, I'd be able to showcase, you know. So I think that'd be a fun thing, you know.
Dope.
If that was an opportunity. But,
Dope. Okay, and then last but not least, in let's say the next 5 years, what are we gonna see from Kiii?
Yeah, so, you know, after the third album, I will be planning on like resourcing out my own tour. And so that'll be the dope part, is just, you know, being inclusive with other creatives, providing like a safe space for consumers of art, and kind of almost transforming how art is consumed, as I mentioned. So
I like that.
You know, I'll just start from there, you know, with like maybe like a 5-show string tour from city to city in California, and just like lock in from Sacramento to Berkeley, Bay Area.
What's dope is once you get out of your general area, bro, there's so much more love everywhere else. It's crazy how artists got to deal with that, is that, you know, like, you have to blow up somewhere else before your city actually is like, yo, he's from here. You know what I'm saying? So it's a cold work, but it's been great talking to you, man.
Likewise,
Kiii, this is the Inside Look. Remember, if you want to get seen, you got to come to Look. Let's go.
While you wait, we elevate the stakes. The enemy of time is me defying fate. I undress the pressure first and I address the face. Might arrive as a ghost, you thought you seen a wraith. Why glorify the pain? That's how you spin the wheel. You spin for thrill, 24/7, 360 deal.